So with e-bikes getting more powerful and faster nowadays, it's really not that uncommon to see them go 28 miles an hour. And at these speeds, these bikes are blurring the line between bike and moped. And it makes you wonder, is a standard bike helmet safe enough to deal with these kind of speeds? Well, a company called Xnito doesn't think so. And they've actually developed a new helmet with e-bikes and other e-vehicles in mind. So in this video, we're gonna check out the design, details, specs, and features of this helmet to see what makes it e-vehicle specific. So now, let's check out the Xnito bike helmet. So Xnito is a startup company that was founded in 2020 by Benjamin Dye, who after riding his new e-bike, he realized that the current bike helmet standards in the US were pretty much out of date, and didn't provide the kind of protection that was needed for the high speeds of e-bikes, e-skateboards, and other e-vehicles. So Xnito decided to make their own, which is called the Xnito Old School Collection. But before I start getting into the design and features of this helmet, I do want to touch upon exactly what makes this helmet e-bike specific, and that's the NTA-8776 certification. But before even trying this helmet, I'd even heard of the NTA-8876 standard. So I started researching the standard, and here's what I found out. This is a Dutch standard that regulates the design and safety of the helmets for e-vehicles that go up to 28 miles per hour. Helmets that are sold in the United States need to meet the CPSC standard, which only requires for protection for riding speeds up to 15 miles per hour. But the NTA-8876 compliant helmets have more coverage at the temple and at the back of the head, which increases overall protection by 87% over a standard CPSC compliant helmet. So the Xnito has a more classic shape, which kind of reminds me of a mixture of a skateboard helmet and a commuting helmet. And it uses a traditional in-mold design with EPS foam that's fused together with a plastic shell. And as we discussed earlier in the video, the helmet is NTA-8776 certified, and it's also CPSC certified as well. The helmet is extremely light, only weighing in at 375 grams. It has a removable liner, a dial fit wheel, a fidlock buckle, 10 vents, and a removable visor. And for additional safety, the helmet also has integrated front and rear lights, which are rechargeable, have a battery life of about 10 hours, a 3-hour charge time, and the rear light has 3 light modes. Something to note though, that the front light is only for visibility, and it's not meant to be used as a headlight to ride in the dark. What I really like about this helmet is that the build and construction feels pretty high quality, and you can tell this is actually a really good helmet, not just some cheapy helmet with a couple lights glued on. And Xnito seems to feel pretty confident with the quality of their helmet as well, since they have a lifetime warranty on the helmet and free accident replacement. So you might be wondering to yourself, what really differentiates a helmet with this Dutch e-vehicle certification compared to a regular helmet? So I'm going to show you the difference by comparing it to the Fox Speedframe Pro, which is my helmet that I use for mountain biking and for riding e-bikes. So just to get this out there, these helmets do not compete together. The Xnito is a commuter helmet, while the Fox is a mountain bike helmet. But what I want to show with this is what exactly makes the Xnito an e-bike specific helmet compared to a regular mountain bike helmet. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, from what I can tell, the NTA-8776 certification is based mainly on additional foam protection and thickness. Here you can see a side angle of both helmets, and you can tell that the Xnito helmet has a lot more foam protection to the back of the head, but the real difference is the thickness of the foam around the whole helmet. So what I decided to do is to create a test, where I measured the thickness of the foam around both helmets. Here's what I found out. For the front of the helmet, the Fox's helmet is 20 millimeters thick, while the Xnito is 25 millimeters thick. For the side of the helmet, the Fox foam is 18 millimeters thick, while the Xnito is 24 millimeters. For the top of the helmet, the Fox foam is 18 millimeters thick, while the Xnito is 28 millimeters. And the back is where it really gets crazy, with the Fox only being 20 millimeters thick, while the Xnito is 33 millimeters thick. And here we have the results of the foam thickness test. And here's where you can really see where the e-bike certification really makes a difference. The Xnito has substantially thicker foam than the Fox, especially in the back of the head area. So just by looking at the helmet, I assumed the helmet would have a disconnected feeling when wearing it, but to my surprise, the helmet is extremely comfortable. It has a nice secure feeling, almost like the helmet is cradling my head, not just sitting on top of it. The dial adjustment in the back of the helmet works really great. I love that Xnito uses a fidlock on the chin strap. The thing is, there's nothing wrong with the standard buckle, but once you view the helmet with the fit lock, you don't ever want to go back. And while riding with the helmet, it felt extremely light and breathable. I do have to note that during my testing period, the weather was pretty much your standard San Diego weather. It was 70s with minimal clouds and a really nice breeze. So I really can't confirm how effective the ventilation would be in this helmet in scorching heat. But based on what I did feel, I think that this helmet would be perfectly fine in hot weather. And I did try the detachable visor, and it works okay. It does swap out in seconds, and I do like that it looks like a baseball hat bill. It does manage to slightly help with the sun, but it's not quite as effective as a standard visor. Now it is better than nothing, and it's small, so storing it almost takes zero space. And another note is that the helmet works great with sunglasses, and there's no weird pressure points. So overall, I'm very happy and pleasantly surprised by the quality and comfort of this helmet. When Xnito reached out to me to review this helmet, I wasn't really sure what to expect, but overall, I'm really impressed. The helmet's extremely light, good looking, comfortable, has cool features, and most importantly, it's safe. And while I like almost everything about this helmet, the only really minor gripes that I have is the visor is a little small to be really effective, and I wish that the front fence had a slightly bigger opening, just to let in more air. And quite honestly, for the features and safety that this helmet has, I think that the $150 price tag is a really good deal. For some people watching, they might be thinking that $150 for a helmet is expensive, and it is. I'm usually someone who doesn't like spending a lot of money on stuff for my biking habit, but one thing I won't go cheap on is my helmet, and I don't think you should either. There are certain injuries that you can live with, but brain injuries are not one of them. So if you're interested in buying the Xnito helmet, I've left a link in the description below. Also, Xnito is also nice enough to provide a discount code for an additional 10% off for my viewers, so I've left that code in the description as well. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great one.